To my most excellent friend, Zombie Picture Show. What up, Zombie? Zombie, I watched your video about happiness. What is happiness? Your therapist asked you, are you happy? And at one point in time in the video asked, what is happiness? Tell me what happiness is like. And I have an idea. I also thought of a book, I believe, by Isaac Asimov. There was a robot called Daniel R, and the R stood for robot. And then the last name was like Olov or something like that. It started with an O, kind of reminded me of a Russian name. And he was a detective, and it was a detective story. And so robots were starting to replace people in certain jobs, and people, in the overcrowded Earth were getting all bent out of shape about it. And so, like, one of the jobs that was getting replaced was detective jobs. So this robot was sent to work with this detective, and as they started working together, the detective kept kind of like asking the robot questions, like, "Well, you just behaved this way. It seemed like you were angry, or it seemed like you just lied to a bunch of people." Because at one point in time, there was a guy selling shoes, and I don't know what the deal was, but he had to have a robot shoe salesman. And there was a riot going to take place. They were going to rip that thing apart, probably destroy the store, and the robot took care of it by behaving in a threatening manner. The robot then admitted that he could not, according to his programming, actually carry through. And the detective's like, "Well, you just lied to everybody then." And the robot's, "No, I did. I based on my calculations, I behaved in a manner that brought about the desired effect, and it worked." And at one point in time, the detective said to the robot, something like, "Do you like me? Do you consider me your friend?" That kind of thing. And the robot says, "No, I don't have any feelings. I don't feel like I like you. I don't feel like you're my friend. But I do notice that the pathways in my brain either function in slightly different ways, or in some ways slightly faster when I'm interacting with you. So there's a lot of times when I have a problem on my mind, or I'm working something out, part of that, I'm bringing all my tools to bear. Part of those tools are I wish," I can't remember the detective's name, "was here." So by wishing someone would be around you, by wanting to be around them because it makes things go easier, their life better, I guess you could say, "I enjoy your company." I guess you could say, "I'm your friend because I want to be around you, and you make my life better." And the detective's just like, it's a book, so I just imagine his jaw dropped open. But I think that when I think about what happiness is, just describe happiness, it's like that surprising thing that makes everything seem easier, faster, or better. The drive out here to the Delta doesn't seem very long because I'm so happy to want to go there. Just like that robot's positronic brain seemed to function faster. The freeway seems to go faster when I'm coming here. This place makes me happy. I turned on the radio this morning, and the DJ said, "This lovely spring day." And yesterday was beautiful. Today is beautiful. And it just occurred to me, has spring taken place? Is winter over? And there's this moment of just I'm making coffee in the tiny house. There's this moment of just happiness. I'm it feels like a new start, a new beginning. It was no different than a few moments before, except for the person on the radio said this lovely spring day. And I was suddenly filled with expectation. I got out of the house even faster. I rushed tequila out even before the coffee was finished boiling. I rushed back right as it was starting to whistle. I didn't even want to wait. I wanted like, well, I'll just get a Keela in the van. The thought of going and getting my bike out of the shed, and I think I'm going to keep it in the van, fills me with happiness, because I think about what will I do. There's places I bike that I'm kind of getting bored of, and I suddenly think, well, I could actually drive out some places out in the woods there and give Akila a good run, put him in the van, and then go out biking by myself. Get some exercise, get some alone time, and play with my great bike. And it makes me happy, the possibilities. It's a dream and a plan that makes me feel happy. And then physically, sometimes it feels like I get warm when I get happy. I feel like a warmth spreading over me. Sometimes it feels like a tightening. I feel happy and I'll go, like the deep breath feels like I'm like just filled, like I'm like dealing with this feeling of happiness that is doing something to my body. And the deep breath is almost kind of like pushing back the happiness so I could breathe a little bit. I feel so happy it's hard to breathe. But you know, not in a frightening way, in a kind of a way where you wake up and you're like, start to stretch and you're like, I felt sore and I felt kind of all knotted up. And that's combined with the feeling of stretching out and feeling wonderful about it. I think one thing that makes me feel happy is typically what makes a story or a joke really good is a surprise. A friend of mine said, hey, look at this, and he held up his phone and hit play, and it was a little teeny frog, the sand frog, the cutest sand frog in the world, I think was the name of the YouTube video. This little teeny frog, and he's covered in sand, he's like going, neek, 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 neek. He just makes some sort of like silly noise, and I was so not expecting that, that I was filled with kind of a happiness and a joy. And I'm like, if you could just occasionally play that sound as you're going about your day, I would be really grateful. Yeah, so happiness feels like things are easier. Happiness feels like my mind's working faster. Happiness makes things feel less, I feel more conductive. I feel more, my particles are more excited and I can pass through solid matter. Things are lighter. I could go farther. Because of the feeling of happiness. Yeah. There you go. There you go, zombie.